thanks for tuning in again for our coverage of Feud, Bette and Joan on FX. I'm Bethany.
I'm Kristin.
And we are your Boob Tube Betties. Please go to our website, boobtubebuddies.com, and see the other content we have. Currently, the other buddies are covering Walking Dead, Legion, Iron Fist, which always makes me think of like a fist to butthole.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kristin and I are covering Big Little Lies on HBO. And we've got some movie reviews too. Most recently, Kong, Skull Island, and Adam and I reviewed Beauty and the Beast. We just have a huge catalog of other shows that we've covered in the past. And if you don't see something that you like, write into us at boobtubebuddies@gmail.com and give us suggestions on shows that you might like us to cover. Please email us, send us your thoughts, questions, corrections to anything we might fuck up, because that's guaranteed to happen. Send us anything. We will shout you out on the podcast. Lastly, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit. No.
Yeah.
Reddit. Give us 5 stars on iTunes if you feel...
That's where they get their most action, honestly.
On Reddit?
Yeah.
We get so much action on Reddit.
So much action.
And tell a friend if you like what we're doing. Also, we now have a Patreon page if you'd like to help support us so we can keep bringing quality shit. I really hate doing all of that. I'm so sorry. I'm done with that spiel. You and I have to start taking turns with this. You know how much I hate doing that. I feel like such a scumbag.
But I love watching you do it.
Like, as I'm like nervously like just racing through it. Anyway, done with that.
Yeah, but if I take over instead of like saying, you know, we just joined Patreon, I'm just gonna be like, show me the money.
That's probably
and, like,
what
really,
you need to do.
like really bad like quotes from movies and stuff.
Okay. Do you have any housekeeping?
No.
No housekeeping.
Nope.
Let's jump right into it. Feud, episode 3, Mommy Dearest.
Mm-hmm. It starts off with Beatty coolly smoking a cigarette, showing Joan's twins how to be cool.
I didn't know Joan's twins were Latina.
Oh, I didn't either. Are they, or is that just casting?
I knew they were dark-haired, but I didn't know they were heavy-set Latina girls.
Well, I didn't know that either. Cynthia and Kathy, right?
I don't know. I just
was Claudia and Kathy. I know it's 2 C's, so she had all C's.
Right. Christopher, Christina. Okay, Claudia and Kathy.
So they could all have like Crawford at the end too, like.
Oh, she likes a little alliteration.
A little alliteration.
Those big bows.
Those were fancy.
Those were so fancy.
Well, they wanted to take them off because they looked 5. So they honestly looked like the heavy-set Latina version grown up of the Shining Girls.
Oh my gosh. And Joan, we find out that Joan babies the shit out of them, treats them like little girls. And she tells Beatty that she's going to speak to her mom about the smoking. And we get that scene with them at dinner with Mamacita, the 2 girls. And Mamacita has a card for Christina. It's Christina's opening. Christina, her daughter, who wrote the book Mommy Dearest based on her supposed experience with Joan Crawford as her
nightmare of a mother.
Right, exactly. And Joan Crawford insisted that her children call her Mommy Dearest. She really liked that.
She actually wanted to be called that. Christina and Christopher ended up with Zip at the end of all of it. Because they know what they did.
They know what they did. But even the twins, we've talked about this. Their estate only got $80,000 apiece.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I think she spent more than she took in. I'm gonna go ahead and
she drank most of
that.
Go
out on a limb, exactly.
But she doesn't want to sign the card for Christina, and talks about like her mother never gave her anything. We'll wait and see when the reviews come in.
Exactly.
But she does let the girls go and take those bows off, and while they're in the bathroom,
signs the card.
Signs the card and signs it, Mommy Dearest.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you, Mommy Dearest.
I guess she didn't want her daughters to see her do that?
I guess not. Because she probably still wanted some kind of semblance of a relationship with her. With Christina? But she didn't want to show any kind of weakness in front of her daughters. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah. I like this where the next scene, Betty and Bob, and she's like, Friday was wonderful. It can't happen again.
You're right. It can't happen again. You didn't have to tell me so fast.
And the idea of Beatty playing the neighbor girl comes up. And, Betty's on the fence about it. She's not an actress. And then, good God, what would Crawford say?
Exactly.
And I like this next scene too,
where she comes to tattle on Beatty.
Yeah, so Joan tattles on Beatty to Betty, and Betty, I guess, trying to appeal to her a little bit, asks about her parenting secret
of the 2 well-trained Pomeranians.
Yeah, and Joan says she's a strict disciplinarian, and she gives her tips on why she's such a great mother.
I love that she called her Crawfish.
Oh my God. Betty's like, that's a great idea. Hey, Crawfish.
I know. It's like when she said that, I was like, oh my God. If that was real, I really hope that's real. That she would call her also Lucille or Crawfish or anything like that. I hope at the end she's like, hey, Crawdaddy.
And Joan doesn't help herself with the things she does. She's obnoxious, but from the beginning where she says all she wants is Betty's respect, you can see she still wants it. She feels less than. So Betty suggests they go out for drinks. And I love it. She's like, close the door. That whole scene.
I know. And the look on her face when she closes the door.
Yeah. You want me to close the door?
Such a power struggle, even in the littlest sense.
Yeah. Close the door.
That's amazing. So they're going to go grab a drink. And,
God, man, this dinner was so sad. Or this drink meeting.
Yeah, it definitely took a hard left.
It gives you a whole nother look at Joan.
Yes.
If you didn't already know. And sympathy, for sure. You start to understand why she is the way she is.
But what I loved about this scene is they really showed throughout the whole thing both the similarities and the differences of Joan and Betty.
Yeah.
Like, Joan being 11 when she lost her virginity, Betty being 27. But they both went to boarding schools. However, Betty's relationship with her mom versus Joan's relationship with her mom, it just really was one scene where it really stuck out.
Credit to both of those actresses, because both of those stories, I had tears in my eyes.
Me too.
Where she talks about being 11 and how she lost her virginity to
her stepfather.
Her stepfather. And, her mom had insisted that she call him Daddy.
Kaysen.
But he wasn't really my father, so it wasn't incest. And she's just saying all this so matter-of-factly.
That he loved me, but I led him to it.
And, Betty's like, you were just a child. It was a good scene. And you can see Betty starting to understand Joan, soften to her, and Joan understand Betty more, because Betty talks about how her relationship with her mom, that was like, she thinks her only real friendship, which I think Betty, when you take all that other stuff away, seems like a girl's girl. Like, doesn't she seem like she'd be a good friend?
Yes. I want to hang out with her.
I know. She's just down to earth. She's funny, and she looks out for the people she cares about.
Yeah, so I wonder what made the mom her only friend.
I just think it was the times.
Probably.
And you had to be cutthroat in Hollywood. That's the way they made it seem. And she even talks about that to Hedda Hopper. When Hedda Hopper, who is supposed to be Joan's friend, tries to appeal to Betty to get some scoop.
Yeah, and she pretty much says, like, you spit venom and do all this when it's really our asses being put on the line.
Right. You make it so hard for us. And she's, the saddest thing is that Crawford thinks that you're her friend.
Exactly.
Again, sort of.
And I love how Hedda was like, this is real life. She's like, this is not real life. And I love how she compared it to, like, the manicured lawns and her manufactured concern.
Yes.
I loved that so much. I thought that was really great.
Betty Davis looked really beautiful on this episode. I don't know. She looked younger in different parts.
It's the acting.
It's the acting, yeah. Whereas I thought she looked really old.
Poor Joan.
Oh.
Well, I can't wait to get to that part, because that part just made me laugh at the end.
But basically, Joan understands that Betty did this meeting so that she could tell her about the casting of Beatty.
But she was genuine at the end, where she's like, listen, I just want to make this movie together think we don't have to be best friends. We can be allies.
Oh, right. And then she says Betty says that telling line, which gets twisted, that, we both want the same thing. We want the movie to be a success. I'm going to support this picture, even if it means supporting you.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, Joan takes it to heart because she calls Hedda and it's like, just disregard what I said. Don't put that out about stinky Betty. It's so catty.
So
what did she say? Like, well, anyone would start to get
I'm the one hovering over her every day or some shit like that. So great.
She talks about, she's starting to understand Betty. She's a single mother.
Mm-hmm.
And Hedda hangs up on her.
Yeah. She's like, this is bullshit. I can't write any of this.
Hedda is what she is. And
because Hedda really wants to write the story of them really making it for women, supposedly.
Right.
That's why she would hang up.
I have a question, though.
Mm-hmm.
So Joan tells her she doesn't want that put out there. And then the story that does end up getting put out there is that Betty is willing to go in the supporting actress category. Did she and Hedda agree to change that?
Yeah,
that's what it would
I have
be,
a feeling we didn't see
evils?
it, but I think Hedda was going to put something out either way.
Okay, so she tried to make
says,
it
okay,
lesser.
well, if you don't put this out, I'll give you this.
Okay.
Which technically, a lot less technically catty and works in way more in Joan's favor.
Yes. Okay. I wonder what you thought about that. Okay. I love this guy.
Victor Buono?
In all my notes, I just have gay actor.
He's amazing. And I love the back and forth of this scene.
Yeah.
Going from Victor Buono and Beatty and like the dichotomy between she really wants Beatty to work and she doesn't. And she really kind of doesn't want Victor Buono to work because he's never been in Broadway. That was bullshit. But he's just so talented.
He is so talented and it's unexpected. And you have beautiful Beatty, whose mother is Bette Davis. And I think we've talked about this before. Bette Davis's, one of her previous marriages was ended because she had a play and wouldn't cast the guy or cast him and then basically fired him. Like, he couldn't act. She fired him from as husband and as the actor. And you can sort of see that struggle, like, this is my daughter. I can't say anything. I'm trying to be kind.
But I did love at the end, and I know we're jumping around a little bit. I don't care.
No, that's fine.
I did love at the end where she was like, I could have done better. And she was like kind of crying to Betty. And instead of Betty telling her she was shit, and instead of lying to her, she took what was true. Yeah. You never looked in the camera once.
You hit all your marks.
You hit all your marks. So she was able to compliment her truthfully.
It was your first picture.
Without being an asshole or a liar.
And then Betty got that amazing, it just gave me chills, just that amazing moment where Beatty finally appreciates how much work.
Exactly.
She says something like, you just make it look so easy.
Yes.
And
I got choked up when she said that line.
I said something about being a mother to a daughter, like... I just want for that moment. I hope someday I get that moment. Maybe
the appreciation.
Like, I don't know how. Something.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what every mother strives for, is actual appreciation.
Yes. So I liked that moment, but
it's a thankless job.
But I do love the scenes with Betty sort of turning around on her opinion of this guy when she walks by him and she says, "You're good."
Exactly.
And he says, "It's like mommy gave me a new pony."
I know, that was so great. I just love his whole... they picked the perfect guy for this because he looks so much like him. He's good at the mannerisms. They're very good at this. This casting is just amazing, down to the people you don't even know.
That was good, the back and forth. And you can see how both of them are... The episode's called Mommy Dearest, and that's what it was all about, this episode. How the two of them are mothers, and how that transcends not just with their own children, but their experiences with their mothers. Yeah. And you see this guy, Victor, looking at Betty.
Looking up to her,
as a mother. He refers to her a couple different times in a, this is why I couldn't call my mother.
Yeah, and you could also go as far as to say, towards the end, and a little bit where Joan's talking to Mamacita and how she kind of looks to her for final advice and things like that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Definitely.
And you see her being kind and coddling a little bit to Victor, and you see Beatty needing her and the kind of the push and pull.
Didn't you say that Beatty wrote a story too, kind of against Bette Davis?
Yeah, it's my
Mother's Keeper or something like that.
Yeah, I want to read it because
that's another like similarity. Like it's so funny. It's just like they could have probably gone their whole life without actually fighting, maybe being a little jealous of one another. But because of all the similarities between them, it's like Hollywood had no choice but to want to put them, make them against each other.
I know. It's sad.
It really is. Hedda does release a story about agreeing to be supporting. And she's like, well, you agreed, didn't you?
Oh, God, this scene is so good. Yeah, so they go back and forth. Betty finds out what Joan has said, that Betty is willing to go in the best supporting
Where's your
actress.
wheelchair?
Yeah, because you're going to need it. I'm not sharing a shit with you. And then gets so petty. Petty Betty.
Petty Betty.
I should already have 3 Oscars.
Yeah, exactly. But she was shamed for All About Eve.
They go on, and Bob, the voice of reason, he's like, ladies, we haven't even finished the movie.
I know.
When it shouldn't be talking Oscars, and they go off. And
I love how she blames it on Ann Baxter.
Yeah, it's
like she's like, well, we had to split the movie. Like,
and as if the Oscars are something like, well, you have 2 bookends Oscars. I only have 1.
Exactly. Well, that was the end all be all back then, and even still now.
And Gloria Swanson was robbed in 1950. Not you, bitch.
Those are both like Hollywood movies too, right? Sunset Boulevard and All About Eve. Aren't those based on Hollywood? Yeah, that's interesting.
I love the way Jessica Lange did that line, and I could only imagine that scene when it ended, that she and Susan Sarandon must have giggled,
like died laughing.
Yeah, and how many takes it took to do
absolutely. Because like I told you, Ryan said like they were friends and constantly laughing and stuff like that. I would have just loved this whole episode. I would have loved to seen them film.
Yes, I know, because you have to know there were lots of laughs.
Yeah, especially when we get to the next scene where they're continuously fucking each other over. Like, it's the best thing in the entire world.
It is incredible. And all the little one-liners back and forth.
Oh, that face. This really is a horror picture. I barely touched her.
But after that, where they go their separate ways, Bob's secretary comes out and she's like, well, looks like you got your war picture after all, Bob.
It's so great. I love that she added weights to herself.
Oh my God.
That was like the best thing ever.
That's amazing. But then we get to a commercial break.
Yes.
So let's do the secretary. You want to do?
No, let's do the game.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So, I didn't say it in the beginning. This next segment is called Oh My God. You know who that is, right? And we're going to talk about 2 actresses that you might not know who they are.
You probably know mine. I'm just running out.
We're running out of people to do.
I'm not kidding you.
Okay.
All the people. Like, I was literally. Can I just tell you? I was looking up Cynthia and Kathy Crawford to see if they've been in anything.
We might have to change this up a little bit.
So
while it's still around.
But here's the thing. Certain people that listen to a Feud podcast might not know where my actor's from.
There you go.
So.
All right. Well, without further ado, here is Oh My God. You know who that is, right?
Oh my God. You know who that is, right?
Oh shit.
Nah, bitch. Who?
All right. Oh my God.
Are you
Bob?
so tired of saying "Oh my God"?
Never.
No.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Alfred Molina. Everybody knows who this is, but just in case you don't, literally nobody else I looked up have been in anything anybody would know.
Some people might not know who he is.
Well, okay, so I figured this was a good one because he's very physically recognizable. Like, he's the guy that you go, oh, I've seen him in a million things.
And his voice.
But you cannot necessarily name what you've seen him in.
I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head.
So, but you've seen him in a lot, right?
Yes.
So, oh my God, you know who that is?
Alfred Molina.
He plays, most notably, Dr. Otto in Spider-Man. All the Spider-Man movies. He plays the Bishop in the Da Vinci Code.
I never saw that movie.
That's really good. I like it. I read the book too. And read the book. It's really good. Okay. He's in Chocolat.
That's a delightful movie.
I know. I love that movie. And then on my next one was, oh my God, you know that is right? Johnny Depp. Alfred's also starred in Raiders of the Lost Ark. I personally recognize him as the doctor in the movie Identity with John Cusack and Ray Liotta.
Oh, you love John Cusack.
Yes. And I've seen that movie 100 times. I love that movie. It's like a thriller. And he plays the doctor in it. And that's actually how I know him.
You got to meet John Cusack.
I did.
At MegaCon.
I did.
And was it everything you hoped?
Well, yes, because it was on my birthday. So I actually had something to say because they were kind of like filing you like cows.
It's
like,
my birthday.
Like I literally like walked up and I go, hi, it's my birthday. And he's like, oh, happy birthday. I'm like, thanks. But it was very weird. I got really lucky last year. Two of my favorite things are Dave Matthews and John Cusack. And I got to meet them both within less than a month of each other.
Hashtag basic bitch.
So.
Just kidding.
Hashtag fuck you. Well, I'm gonna go fuck myself. Her turn.
I don't know why I'm giving you such a hard time tonight. Before she came over here, she sent a text and it was like a couple.
It was
typos.
a nickname she didn't recognize, so all of a sudden I'm this fucking idiot.
So it just looked like she had a mini stroke. She walks in the door. You fucking asshole. Okay, well, my person.
So Adam didn't make a Feud Tube Betties this week,
Yeah,
so in about
the...
20 minutes we'll be the Feud Tube Betties.
Yeah, it's just Bette and Joan right here for you. My person, you definitely don't know who this is.
Okay. She was Lady One.
I did the character Pauline James, who is the secretary to Bob Aldrich.
Which is the guy I just did. I don't
Right.
think I said that he was Bob Aldrich. I just said Alfred Molina.
That's everybody knows. And this actress's name is Allison Wright, and best known for her role as Martha Hanson on The Americans, which actually...
Oh, with Kerry Russell?
Yeah.
I want to see that show really bad. I saw the first episode, but I want to like watch it.
Yeah, it's I would like to try it out too. Michael,
It'll be on one of our best ofs soon. One of our old shows.
Another buddy watches The Americans. He really likes it.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's Martha Hanson on The Americans, and she's Marjorie on Sneaky Pete.
Nope. I've heard. Oh my God, I'm thinking about Pete and Pete. Never mind.
Well, I'm thinking of Stinky Pete, which is what I call my son. There's no really reason why. She's an English actress, and she's also had a stint on Blue Bloods.
Okay. With
That J-Lo.
Tom Selleck?
No, Blue Bloods is the J-Lo cop thing
That's
with Ray
Shades of Blue.
Liotta. That's Shades of Blue? Mm-hmm. Blue Bloods is the other one.
Tom Selleck.
Yes.
I know my Blue PD shows.
Every time my parents come over, my dad, he's 74, my mom's 70, every time they say, you watch Blue Bloods? I'm like, no, I don't watch fucking Blue Bloods.
Jason's dad asked if we watched Blue Bloods last week.
Oh,
it's cool.
Every time. You know,
It's cool.
You should try out that Blue Bloods.
I hear it's real good.
Your mother and I love it.
Jason and I were going to watch Shades of Blue, but then, you know,
Then you didn't.
then we didn't. Cool story, Katie Holmes.
And you definitely know her from these movies. The Nanny Diaries and Brains.
Brains! Yeah, it's my fave.
A movie with 3 A's and an exclamation point in the title, so obviously Oscar worthy.
Definitely not a sci-fi original.
But you know, not to shame her, she has been nominated for a Satellite Award for her work in The Americans.
Oh, cool.
She didn't win.
Oh, well, at least it wasn't a Razzie.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
well, there you go. That was
an extremely amazing version of
Lackluster. Oh my God, you know who that is. Great. Wait, is this when the music plays?
And I think now we're going to go on to a commercial.
Yeah, now we have to do an audible. Real profesh. Okay, enjoy this amazing audible ad.
I'm going to go listen to Audible while we do it.
Be right back.
Hi, this is your Boob Tube Betty, Kristin. I, like many people, suffer from ADD, aka Attention Deficit Disorder. One of the many problems that stem from this is my inability to finish any project. I've gone down multiple avenues to try and, well, get my shit together, and I always seem to have a little bit of troubles. And don't even get me started with being able to finish reading an entire book. Well, that's where Audible.com swooped in and saved the day. Right now, I'm listening to Stephanie Nealon's Writing and ADHD tips to help finish your novel and other writing projects. If you haven't already, go ahead and try audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and free 30-day trial at www.audibletrial.com/boobtubebuddies. Over 180,000 titles to choose from through your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Shit, there was something else I wanted to tell you, but I got distracted and forgot. Sounds like I should start finishing this book soon. Fingers crossed.
Welcome back, buddies and betties. Hope you enjoyed that incredible Audible ad.
I went out and downloaded it twice.
He told us to do Audible during Feud, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. My husband is a real taskmaster.
Well, I was listening to Audible, and all of a sudden the door rang, and it was my Blue Apron.
Yeah, we have Blue Apron as a sponsor. So you'll either hear Blue Apron or Audible. Either one.
Either one.
It's
Listen
gonna
and
be
cook.
Really good quality.
Super profesh here. All about the facts.
Which is why we need you to support us on Patreon. So we can continue.
So we can go to school.
Joan in bed with
Well, I thought that was like a nickname for Betty.
No, okay. So
Joan in bed.
We come back and you and I, before we went to break, we're talking about this, how amazing these scenes are with, so they're filming the scene from Baby Jane, and it's the scene where the character Blanche is in bed, and the character Jane, who has gone into like a disassociative state, has to drag Blanche out of bed. It's a big scene in the movie. And Joan has decided to exact revenge.
In the best way ever.
So she's purposely messing up takes while Bette Davis has to drag her out of the bed and is supposed to drag her down the hallway, and she starts laughing and says, I'm just ticklish.
Uncontrollably the whole time, but then when she finally gets it.
And then as this sequence of scenes goes between Joan doing shit to Betty and then Betty doing shit to Joan, they're playing the song Mama Said There'd Be Days Like This, which is funny.
Yeah. Because it's like, I don't know, it makes it kind of like funny in a cartoonish way.
And there was just being so snarky to one another. Yeah. You know, and then Joan, they're doing the take again, and Joan's like has a coughing fit, and you can see this small smile on Joan's face. And then the next scene is, it's a Joan scene, and Betty's standing by Bob, slurping a Coke. Joan freaks at her, and Betty says something like, well, if I was the director, I'd have you do another take. And we see Betty kicking the dummy aggressively.
And then really kicks her.
Yeah, and then Bob's like, cut, Betty, cut.
Yeah, she's still
kicking the
getting
dummy.
her anger out.
And then, so they have to pull Joan in for, what did he say, the medium shots? Median shots?
Yeah,
anyway,
something like that.
Yeah. And so Bette Davis gets to kick her and kicks her in the head. And, you know, Joan's like, she did it on purpose.
I barely touched her. Like I told you, I love Jessica Lange as it is, but I just love Susan Sarandon in this.
I do too. They're so good together.
But I think it's because of Betty's personality.
Yeah.
And Susan Sarandon plays it up so well. There's only so much Joan Crawford. There's only so much Jessica Lange can do with Joan Crawford.
Yeah, I agree. She's more of like a self-contained, just... I was going to bring this up at the end, but I'll just say it now. So this whole thing about them vying for who's going to be nominated for an Oscar, who's going to win an Oscar. Do you think that both women will be nominated for an Emmy for this? Because Jessica Lange's won an Emmy for a Ryan Murphy appearance, hasn't she?
Okay, so again, with that said, I don't think, just like Blanche's character, there's only that so much that can be done with this character that I almost feel like Susan Sarandon would get the nod, because just like Jane, Bette Davis is such a character. And it's not as self-contained as Blanche or Joan Crawford. So I don't know. I hope that they're both...
Because they would both be nominated in the same category.
Yeah,
right?
but then neither of them win or win because they have to split the bill. Or whatever she said.
See, I agree with you. I think that it would go to Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, and it's not because Jessica Lange's not doing what she needs to be doing as Joan Crawford. I think it's because...
Do you think Ryan Murphy would play off that for publicity just like they did with Baby Jane?
That'd be amazing. It would be even more amazing if Susan Sarandon's like, I can't go, and then Jessica Lange gets up and accepts it.
Can't you see them going up together for the award?
That would be amazing.
They haven't even been nominated, and we're already at the
We're
award
already,
show.
exactly. They haven't even wrapped.
But anyway, I think that this was some of my favorite scenes in all of the episodes.
Oh, absolutely.
This sort of tone, this jokey tone. And then you had said it before, Betty huffing and puffing, dragging Joan, and beforehand Joan's like, I think this is going to be it. Betty's like, what? Well, I hope so. You don't have to do anything. Betty hurts her back, and then you see Joan in her dressing room drop the belt weight.
The belt weights that she had put on.
And those cuts back and forth were amazing.
Phenomenal.
They're so good. Betty, watching Beatty's scenes in the...
Painful.
She's awful.
She's just the worst.
She's beautiful, but not an actress. And then she says she wants her billed not with the Davis last name, but
that
with her
was
adopted
awful. Name. And I wonder if that's why it was billed like that.
I'm sure it was. I didn't even know that was her daughter.
Me neither, because I had read the cast, but I didn't know that her daughter was named Beatty. So when I see Beatty Merrill, I'm not thinking Betty Davis's daughter. I'm curious if that's a fact and that actually happened.
I know, I meant to look that up. But that was...
Write in, tell us the answer.
Yeah, please. That was telling of Betty, Her talent is a source of pride. And
she almost feels like it's contagious.
Right, she doesn't want that associated with... Because it's embarrassing.
She's like, I work hard enough as it is to stay on top. I don't need you dragging me down with you.
And did you hear her say the lines that her daughter stinks on ice?
Yeah, they said it twice in this episode.
So she said it here, and then
Hedda says
it later. I hear your daughter stinks on ice, and Betty loses her shit.
Yeah, which I hate that phrase. Because
stinks on ice. I don't understand it.
Well, what it is it's supposed to be because ice doesn't smell.
Oh, so you're so bad that
But that's bullshit, because if you were to, off the cuff, ask me what my favorite smell is, it's ice, because I used to be an ice skater, and I used to go 7 days a week at 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. and go on the ice. So
you like that smell?
I love that smell. So that's bullshit. My bra broke right before this.
I don't think it necessarily means that ice stinks. What I'm assuming is that...
Oh, I had to look it up because I didn't get it.
Put something on ice, right? But it's so bad that it stinks even on ice.
That would make more sense. I looked it up because I didn't get it.
I think that's what that means.
I looked it up because I didn't get it. And they said it's because ice doesn't smell. And that's why I put the whole thing of, I don't believe that. But yours makes a lot more sense to me.
I don't know. It is a dumb...
But everything on the internet is true, so...
I'm going to start saying things stink like ice. God damn it.
Stinks like ice.
My speech stinks like ice.
Yeah, I couldn't... it definitely stuck out to... I didn't get it the first time, but then when they said it the second time, I'm like, I gotta look this up. I don't get it.
Stinks like ice. Stinks on ice.
Stinks on ice.
We already kind of talked about this, where Betty is with Victor, and he talks about how the gay tribe, she really embraced the gay tribe, and Betty says, all the queens love me. And we learn about Betty's adopted daughter, which we hadn't heard about before. What's her name?
Mongo?
No, not Mongo.
Margot,
right. And Betty says that she is mentally retarded. Mm-hmm. She says mentally retarded.
She's laughing at me in the way I'm drinking my drink.
Yeah, I'm not laughing at mentally retarded.
Not at Mongo.
I'm sorry. Margot, mentally retarded. Not Mondo. Or Mongo.
Margot.
Oh my god. Oh, and Betty says this is the reason she's doing the movie, to pay for
her special school in Maine.
Special school, because she needs,
the main reason.
The main reason.
But
I
miss my puns. I haven't gotten a chance really lately.
But that was sweet, that she adopted this daughter, and it just goes to show
so
you
sweet of her.
It just goes to show you that how times have changed. That that mentally retarded was what you said, and now we don't say that. unless I'm quoting someone. I'm quoting a line, so I'm allowed to say.
I know
mentally retarded.
some of the fellow buddies who obviously don't listen.
Yeah, so that's why we're giggling.
Called us out for saying cunt last week, and I'm like, blame Stanley Tucci, not us.
Right, we are just.
It's the lines, man. It's what we were given.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's not us. We would never use those words.
Never.
The next scene.
I think your husband's dying in there.
Adam's coughing. Poor Bosley's moved on to heaven, but Adam's taking his place, like snoring and coughing and choking in the bedroom.
Now I just like imagine like a 90s movie like with Bill Cosby, like Ghost Dad. Like Bosley passes on and all of a sudden he's just now inside of Adam's body.
We're like, what's that smell?
He just comes out and starts snorting.
Oh, rest in peace, Bosley. I'm gonna pour a little bit of
Adam
beer
Eugene.
on the ground.
So now we're at Joan's house.
Oh
And
yeah,
this
she's
is
sad that her daughters are gone, and
This is such a sad scene. I love that she used the term Teutonic pragmatism.
yeah, what does that mean?
It means like pretty much you have like, it's a Teutonic is a German like phrase, slang or whatever. And it pretty much means like you have like a German attitude, like very strict and straight to the point and abrupt.
Okay,
That sort of
I've never
thing.
heard that word.
Hello.
Thank you for educating
That's
me.
Listen, I could say that about 10 words that you've said before, and I'm just like, totes. But then I like look at them and I'm like, oh, duh.
What did she say? Teutonic what?
Teutonic pragmatism.
You know that was a phrase she read somewhere and says that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
She likes the way it sounds.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. But I love how like she like gives her tough love, but then 5 minutes later they're sharing a sandwich in bed.
Yeah, so she's so dramatic about, yes, I'm alone, but it doesn't mean I'm lonely and I just have to get used to it. And then the next cut is of her in bed with Mamacita, who looks irritated, and Mamacita's sharing a sandwich with Joan.
She's like, this was my sandwich.
Yeah.
I made it for myself. I bet she did.
Joan's like,
Stop calling me Mamacita.
Your daughters who look more like Mamacitas are named.
We're like, she got Chris and Christina and Christopher on the black market, and she stole Claudia or Cynthia and Kathy from Mamacita. But like, that is a real fear of a lady after a certain age. That happens a lot more often now than even before.
Being lonely?
No husband.
Oh, yeah.
Career's over. Kids are grown and out of the house.
I'm happy
That
with
trifecta, it happens. I know way too many moms right now, and like my friends' moms that's happened to.
Yeah.
Terrifies me.
Well, and I'm happy with my 2 kids. 3 kids would be a hardship, but it's like maybe in 6 years I should have another kid. To,
So you, like,
space
span
them
it-
out.
yeah,
Because
space
so
it
as
out.
one leaves the nest, I still have the baby at home.
Exactly.
And then by the time they're all gone, the oldest will be normal and we can be friends.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Never know with that one.
She's gonna be writing my mother's keeper.
She will. She will be the one. God damn.
It's gonna be called She's So Much Older Than Me.
Yeah, bitch.
Wouldn't she do that?
Yeah, Walgreens, the checkout clerk. My daughter is almost 8. I'm at whatever age I am. And
28, 29?
Yeah, something like that. And the clerk was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe..." She checked my ID because I was obviously buying alcohol. She checked my ID and she's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're that old. You guys look like sisters." And my daughter is not really listening.
Did not like that.
Yeah, hated that. What? Look how much... We don't look like sisters. Look how much older she is than me. I wanted to, like, Joan Crawford slap her.
Right?
What the fuck? Why are you so awful?
You try to give her piggyback rides, and then she goes into her room and takes off her belt weight.
She's so concerned about looks. I told you about the bully.
Yes.
Okay, so apparently in the past he said, "Your mom's ugly." He's never seen me. And I'm obviously not ugly.
Well, plus your mom jokes win every time.
But he's...
I'm in the background going, oh shit! That's not helpful. I'm very sorry.
It really bugs her. So I am
I'd bug the
chaperoning...
shit out of me.
I told her, who cares what people say? I don't care if somebody says, blah, blah. I do care. I'm like, no,
Exactly.
But I'm chaperoning her field trip next week. And so today in the car, she's like, can you make sure you wear your hair down and you wear a dress and high heels so I can tell him, look now.
Can you please wear high heels to a field trip?
She said a dress or a gown. And by the way, let me tell you,
Please wear a gown.
Walking field trip. Like,
Please wear a gown.
I'm like, wow, I'm not doing all that. She's like, I want him to see that you're pretty.
Only if you wear a tuxedo, Lila.
So I'm only pretty if my hair is down. Oh, and no glasses. She said no glasses.
God, you're feeding what's bad out there right now. She's literally like feeding into it.
She's like, fuck you. You see how pretty my mom is? Just bossing me around.
She's the one that's like, Mom, you don't need makeup. And then you come in with no makeup. Mom, you look tired.
Every time I wear makeup, she's like, you should do that more often. You look much better.
Thanks.
Oh,
Thanks
anyway.
a lot. So then in the next scene, Hedda and Joan, I want the dirt. You'll have to settle for sand.
Yeah, and so Joan is basically describing herself to a T.
I love it. Everything that she did wrong in filming these scenes, she says was Betty.
Right. Betty refused mobile dressing room, made us all wait in the heat. She was drunk on set.
So unprofessional.
So unprofessional. And while she's saying this to Hedda, we're getting cuts of the beach scenes. We see Joan wasted.
Mamacita offering her water. Which water?
Which one? Joan stuffing her bra.
Yeah, because she sees Beatty and all those youngins, and all of a sudden, like...
She's crying while she stuffs her bra.
She's like, no, I can't.
And then she's laying on the sand. I love the camera angle because you just see the mounds of her. And Betty's like you said, I'm not falling on those. I don't do stunts.
Yeah, exactly.
And, okay, so I don't understand this. So they keep talking about how every time she goes back to her dressing room, when she comes back...
How does she do that?
So what is she doing?
That's what I wanted to ask. Yes, but with what? Because I want to know how to do this. Because she legitimately looked younger.
What were they using?
I don't know. I want to know. I'm wondering if it's like such big like hairpins maybe that pulls the skin back. Maybe. But that's got to be so painful. Like how?
If anyone could see us right now, we're both like trying.
Do I look any different?
Skin. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is then. Yep. That's exactly what it is. God, that's painful.
She's like, tighter, Mamacita.
Okay, I need lemons for my elbows.
Peroxide.
Not peroxide. You do not dip your face in peroxide.
Witch hazel for your face.
She's really trying to pull a Betty on me right now.
She's
like, yeah, it's peroxide. Go do it.
Yeah, peroxide. Witch hazel for our face and hairpins for our neck skin.
I guess. That's what I'm guessing it was. It has to be. There's no like clip for the skin.
She looks too goddamn good.
Exactly.
She ends up ruining the scene where they actually have to refilm it because she was modifying her look so much.
And she looked way too good.
She did look good. I mean,
did.
in real life good. Like,
yeah.
Jessica Lange looked 5 years
like
younger.
Every time she would get out, you're like, oh, well, that's a noticeable difference.
It definitely was.
I loved it. And poor Joan. Then
Bob's praising
Betty, and they want to know why she looks so young and great. And the guy's like, well, I did some lighting, and he goes, no, it's that goddamn acting.
So 19 whatever year this was.
Yes, 64.
So dramatic. And then you see Joan with Hedda, and this is sad because she says, I hate this fucking picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's
and pretty much says if
for her personally,
if you can, if it's a success, I can pay my bills.
Right.
Kind of like sneaks that in again. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I do think that there's a part of Betty who thinks Hedda's her friend, but I think that they're doing it to both of them.
You mean Joan?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Betty says to Hedda, like, she thinks you're really her friend.
Right.
And then I think that they're both using each other. So
for sure. This next scene we actually kind of already went over about Hedda at Betty's, and you said the line that I thought was...
I have it typed out because I loved it so much.
Yeah.
It's women like you who've nurtured venom and resentment for years that make such a battle for the rest of us who are actually putting our asses on the line and risking something.
I love this because last episode I complained about the relationships and the bad look for women.
Yeah.
And so this exactly...
They're taking care of it.
Sums it up. Yeah. This is perfect. And yes, this is what I needed.
Well, it's actually showing you that at first you were almost worried that it was going in towards like a blamey sort of way, and it kind of made it full circle.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so that's where you were going with that, and I like it.
Right. There's a reason for all of this, and they're aware of it, and she doesn't like it. And
Exactly.
It's not right.
Yeah. Oh, this part's so heartbreaking. Though.
I know. She said, so Hedda says, I hear your
Stinks
daughter
on
stinks
ice.
on ice. And so she's not ruining the picture. Her part isn't big enough to ruin the picture. Of course, Beatty is on the stairs and hears it, and Hedda runs out with, what the fuck was the hair flowers?
Oh, you mean the hydrangea bushes
Yeah, the
in her
hydrangea
hair?
bushes. What
I don't know.
And they weren't real.
No.
Oh,
They look
stupid.
like Minnie Mouse.
Yes, ears, but lopsided.
Exactly. Lady Gaga would look amazing in that.
Yeah, she would.
She would really pull that one off. She like watches it and she's like, "Hey Ryan,
I want that
think I could borrow that
Minnie Mouse ears.
hydrangea for this look I'm going for."
Beatty runs off, and Betty's like, shit.
I need this actress who plays Beatty to do something current. Because I've only ever seen her in Mad Men, which is around the same era, and so I feel like I'm watching the same character.
Mm-hmm. She's so pretty.
She's gorgeous, but just like in Mad Men, she's like, she's
can't
got
tell
this
if she's
sullen, but you want to care for her because she's still a little girl. It's just like it's the same shit.
I can't tell if she's a good actress or not.
She's not.
She's
You know
not.
why?
Okay.
How I know this, and it's funny that you even say this. I don't think she's a bad actress. There's something she needs to look at more. When she's sad and upset, she does the same like, well, you are, like kind of, and she did the same thing in Mad Men, and that's actually what ticked me off too. I wish she would do something current because I feel like I'm watching Sally Draper.
She probably took acting lessons from January Jones.
Probably.
January Jones. Beautiful.
Beautiful girl.
She hits her marks. She doesn't look into the camera. She does a fine job.
She does a fine job.
No one can blame her for ruining a picture.
Her role isn't big enough.
She's a beautiful girl.
Beautiful girl. As an actress, she's a beautiful girl. Oh, God.
The next scene, Victor gets arrested at the sex club, and we talked about this too. He calls Betty to bail him out, and
I love how she's like,
Motherly.
he's doing research for a part.
That
And the
was
cop was
great.
like, can you verify that? And she just pulls the cat eye glasses off.
which I love. I don't really like cat eye glasses, but seeing them on her, I'm like, I want to pay. I have.
It's a
to have
statement.
It is a yeah.
Like
it's a
at the
confidence
end when
thing.
they wrap and she looks at Joan and has them on, takes them off, just looks at her and puts them back on and like whips her hair around. It's just such a action statement.
I will be surprised if they don't get nominated for something with the costuming.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome.
Do they do costume design for Emmys?
Oh, I don't know.
They should. I'm sure there's another award, maybe Golden
Like the
Globes.
technical? Oh, the Golden Globes, yeah.
So I don't know. They need to win something for this.
It's
being done really well. It's literally you're taking a fight between two people and making a whole season out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, definitely gave them good material to work off of. But I mean, not only does Ryan Murphy take true stories, but he makes them into actually like hour-long episode series. Like, I didn't know how they were going to do OJ. I mean, I did, but like keeping up with like the legitimacy of it.
I like this better than OJ.
Me too.
I think the acting is better.
Well, it is. There's no question.
Okay.
I mean, there's no question about that. Like, I'm sorry, everybody loved him. He was actually nominated for a Golden Globe, but John Travolta as John Shapiro.
Yeah.
That seemed comedic to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I like too that so Betty and Joan, this whole thing about how women of that age in that era don't get roles, and really to have a show starring two older women is not a thing now, you know?
It's not.
And they're rocking it, and they're amazing, and
I love it.
Yeah,
This made me want to meet Susan Sarandon. American
I've
Horror Story
always-
already made me want to meet Jessica Lange, but this
I've
makes me
always
want.
wanted to meet Susan Sarandon. She is so funny
Yes.
and a big pothead,
Yes. She's
and not shy about talking about it, which I think is silly.
no, she's not shy talking about anything she believes in, and I respect her so much for that.
And of course, my favorite movie of all time is Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
And
Damn it,
she's
Janet.
Yeah, so I've always had a soft spot in my heart for her. But this, anyway.
Mine was the Banger Sister. No, I'm just kidding.
Banger Sisters.
I do an oh my god, you know who that is, right on Susan Sarandon. I don't even mention Rocky Horror
Yes,
Picture
Banger
Show
Sisters.
or anything, or I do something even worse and name all of Sigourney Weaver's movies.
You know, Ray Liotta says that she was the worst kisser he ever kissed.
Oh, that was my favorite. Watch What
yeah,
Happens
we talked
Live.
about that. I'm sorry.
And Clint Eastwood was the worst actor.
I love Ray Liotta after that.
Me too.
His face work, kind of cray.
He got Val Kilmer syndrome.
Anyway, the next scene, I'm kind of over Joan crying in the playroom. She decides
I'm like, she's just there with her weird plastic furniture and a weird dollhouse.
Yeah, and you know, when you're sexually abused, which when you have sex at 11, it's not a choice. She's stunted. And so she wants her kids to stay that age. And that's where she is. An 11-year-old girl, younger even. So there's a part of her that will always be stuck right there. And she's trying to hold on
don't
to
you
that.
get like, as soon as abuse happens, that's where you're mentally stunted?
Yep, yeah. And so she goes to the...
I act like I know all about this. I think they said this in the second episode.
Oh, I mean...
And you've told me that before, too, I think.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
you
just
said that when we were
stops
talking
you.
about it in the second episode.
It just sort of stops you right there.
Mm-hmm.
She decides that, obviously, the answer to loneliness is to adopt a child. And she's told that she's too old. Mm-hmm. Which was sad.
Yep. I do love that we're just talking about pretty much the ending here, right? Just like the end of the show, because I was going to say back to Beatty is heartbroken about this.
Sorry, I did. And
no,
I
it's okay.
That Warner does tell Bob he's got to reshoot the movie.
Well,
And
yeah, because we talked about
the movie's a B movie.
Well, because she looks. They're like, she's supposed to be dying, and in every scene she looks better and better.
Yeah,
and they had to reshoot that.
I don't know. I meant to look it up, and I didn't look it up.
I'm curious.
I am too.
And then, then we come back and Beatty's heartbroken, and we talked about, Susan Sarandon, Betty giving her legitimate credit.
And then her last line,
yes.
Crawford couldn't ruin the picture, no one
can. And I love that.
And then again, we have where they're showing both women in similar situations. Betty feeling lonely, missing her daughter, calling Margot. And she says that she's coming home soon. She's tearful, and the daughter
scene was
wanders
really
off.
sad.
It was sad.
It was really
sad. I
sad.
didn't know she had an adopted daughter.
Neither did I. And that's a wrap on the film and the episode. And like we just said, as soon as they wrap, Betty does that amazing, just without any
Both
words.
The women, yeah. It's always been sort of a standoff. There's been lots of scenes where it's like, old Western standoff with the two women on their sides. I did like the scene right before that, the last scene where the character Blanche is in the sand and Joan does a beautiful job of acting that.
Crying.
And she's crying. And in the movie, she does a really great job too.
Yeah. Did we ever decide, did she die or not?
Oh, I don't know. We were waiting to hear back from...
Yeah, well, I don't think she was commenting on anything to do with whatever happened to Baby Jane due to Feud coming out. And I looked it up.
Didn't Stanley Tucci say that she's supposed to die in the sand?
Well, she's supposed to be dying.
I think he said she dies on the sand, right?
I gotta look back because I need an answer. I think I even Googled it and people didn't know if she died or not.
Oh, okay.
I think maybe it was just up in the air or something. I don't like that, though. I'd like to know whether or not she died or not.
You would hate the play Lady or the Tiger.
Why? It's
about this princess who... prince and a princess. The king doesn't want her to marry the prince, so he has to choose either get killed by a tiger or marry this other beautiful princess, but he's in love with this one princess. And the last scene is he has to choose death by a tiger or marry the other beautiful princess. And they don't tell you which one he chooses.
And that's what the whole movie's about?
Lady or the Tiger. It's a play.
That's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
I'd be throwing tomatoes.
So, yeah, I did that play, and all the judges were angry about the ending. It's like...
I would be too.
I didn't
Pick
write
another play. Don't piss us off.
We want to know
Give the people what they want.
Exactly. And no man would pick the fucking tiger. He'd pick the beautiful princess.
No, he's like, I'll just cheat on her.
Exactly. Oh, that's the end of the episode. Did you watch previews?
I did, and the one thing I have to say is, as much as I love what we've seen so far, I cannot wait to see what they do after they've wrapped the film for the next several episodes coming up.
Yes, because you said you wondered if they would cover the Oscars.
They
And
have
they
to
have
now.
They have to. Oh, I can't wait.
They have to, because if they're already done wrapping and it's only episode, what, 3? Yeah, and there's 9 episodes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So if you think about it, I mean...
What are the last 5 episodes?
So, okay, here's my question. I could see them doing 3 on the movie, and then 3 on After the Fact.
Mm-hmm.
But what
And
are those
then
other
what are the
3?
other 3? Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Well, you know my whole thing with Ryan Murphy's American Horror Story is that the last episodes are always my least favorite because I feel like they jumped the shark.
The good news is they can't really do that here because
it's written.
It's already written in history.
Right. Yeah, we'll have to see. But I'm surprised it got here as quickly as they did.
Yeah, I am too. Unless there's going to be reshoots that we don't know about.
The release of the film and how it's received.
And you know what they're going to have to, I bet one of the things they'll do is them calling on Joan to come do Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. The Whatever Happened to Cousin Charlotte.
Where she goes
and
like,
then her getting cut out of it completely.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet that's probably...
And
then we'll see Olivia de Havilland. We haven't seen Sarah Paulson yet.
Yeah, and we know that she's in it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, all right. You ready to call it?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Can I have an after housekeeping that just came to my brain?
No,
if you are,
save it.
Sorry.
Put a pin
if
in
you
it.
are, we're going to put a bone in this bitch. If you're a Ryan Murphy fan, obviously if you're listening to Feud, they just announced that people already should know that the next American Crime Story is about the Versace murder.
I thought that you said it was about Princess.
That's the next Feud.
That's Feud. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the next American Crime Story is going to be about Versace, or the next to next one.
Versace, and I was thinking Liberace.
It's going to be about Liberace, and Michael Douglas will reprise his role. They picked Penelope Cruz to play Donatella Versace. A lot of people thought it was going to be Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Because she kind of looks like her, and she's friends with Brian Murphy and has been in the show, so that would make sense.
And she would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. But it's Penelope Cruz, which...
Maybe Lady Gaga, she's on tour, right? So maybe she can.
Yeah, how dare you?
Me?
No. Yes, how dare you? All right, this is the part where we get into a fight. I have so many questions. First of all, how dare you?
Was that it?
That's it.
All right, well.
Let's put a bone in this bitch.
Put a bone in this bitch. These bitches. See you later, little buddies.
Bye.